We've got Mark Sampson on the line. Now, we've always known Mark Sampson as the comedian who went green. And he took his dreads and he went totally green. And now what he's done, and he did this a while back, in 2013 he started, he left Cape Town to go Africa clockwise and to drive clockwise around the continent with his family in their big green truck. And the truck runs on waste vegetable oil. So far, they've travelled an enormous distance, and now they're back in South Africa, and he's going to be doing a show in St. James in Cape Town. We've got him on the line. Mark Sampson, always good to hear from you. Hello. Hello, Mark. Okay, we seem to have lost him, but we're going to get him straight onto the line. I'll tell you a little bit more about what he's been doing. As I mentioned, they've got their big green truck, and that's running on waste vegetable oil, which apparently they collect themselves en route. So that's a kind of interesting concept. And what they want to do is they're attempting to break the Guinness World Record for the longest journey on alternative fuel. So whether or not they're going to make and break that, we're looking forward to finding out. And he's certainly going to be able to tell us. They've also travelled to 12 countries. They've travelled 16,000 kilometres through 12 countries. And in that time, they've broken down, I hope, only 10 times. Mark Sampson on the line. Let's hope that you were there.
Hello, yes.
Geez, there's a relief. I thought you'd disappeared again on your truck and weren't going to come back online. Mark, just give us a brief outline of what you've been doing since 2013.
It's been 2 long years, and it feels like about 10 years. That's the thing about travelling. It's amazing. It's like time travel.
Yeah.
It's expanded, and we've had such incredible connections between the family members. It's amazing to travel with my family, with 2 children, and without diesel, without petrol. So it's had its challenges, but it's been inspiring, and hopefully it'll inspire other South African families to have a look further into Africa, especially West Africa, where people don't really think about,
Okay.
So we've had a huge adventure.
So we were talking a bit earlier on in the show with our petrol head car guy about the issues of diesel versus petrol and fuel. And I'm kind of interested to know, how do you collect and get alternative fuel when you're traveling through Africa?
Well, we have to recycle used vegetable oil, any vegetable oil, normally palm oil. And the only way we can find it is by being charming and going up to restaurants and hotels in major cities and asking them if they'd like to get involved with a South African family trying to break a Guinness World Record, and would they like to be part of it, and can they please put some of their old oil to the side for us? And it takes months. Sometimes we're in one place for a month trying to collect oil to get us to the next place. So,
Jeez.
Yeah, it's made it rather hard for us, but what an incredible adventure, because it's the opposite of traveling with money, where you can just buy diesel or you stay in a hotel. Here we have to make connections. We have to meet locals. In its 1978 truck, we break down all the time, so we're always meeting bush mechanics. And that is the best thing about this trip, really, is meeting the people and reconnecting with the African people out there and being seen as African brothers. Well, as soon as they know you're South African, the rest of Africa is like, my brother, my African brother, you're welcome, so nice to have you here. And it just makes you feel such pride. Yesterday I was on a Unite Against Corruption march in town, and I had the same feeling there. That side of sort of you reconnect with people and you realize that we're in this together, we're proud to be South Africa, part of Africa. We don't want to be European. We're not Greece. Who wants to be Greece? That's the Lesotho of Europe. We're the Germany of Africa. They must be proud to be African. And when you travel as a South African through the rest of Africa, you really get that sense of, wow, they look on us with such pride that we're leading the way here. So it's been an amazing experience.
Now, are you using solar panels as well?
Solar panels, we're completely off the grid. This is why it's so hilarious to come back here and find that nothing's changed in 2 years. Everybody's still talking about Oscar and Candler and doing it by candlelight,
Yeah.
Load shed. We never have load shedding in the truck. We have electricity full all the time, here. And the rest of West Africa, they look at South Africa and the load shedding. They dream of having a load to shed. They haven't even got a shed. Those people are looking at, what's the problem? So it's amazing. We're lucky we got a sponsor called Treetops Renewable Energy Systems, and they gave us the full rig. We've got enough to run the fridge. We have pumps for water. We have lights the whole rig, and enough to run the power to pump the cooking oil for when I'm filtering it. And we've got a 6-part water filter system, which is all run on electric pumps. It's a little home. I mean, we're not suffering. We have a beautiful truck with all the luxuries inside. We have a shower, so it's great for a family. And,
Mark, it's not, I mean, the way you're describing it is absolutely pretty amazing. And as you say, it's about hospitality and enjoying hospitality. You're a big surfer, so I can imagine you've been doing plenty of surfing. But there's also been a couple of little hairy moments as well. Let's tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, by far, it's been a positive experience, and the people, like I say, have been so helpful and so welcoming, and it's felt, as soon as you get away from cities as well, you feel very safe through West Africa. The people, there's not a lot of crime. We haven't experienced too much, but what we have done is always, it's there, and I tell you what, when you get those experiences like the bandits we had in DRC or difficult situations, people quite often think, it's a shame to have your family there. Isn't that putting them at risk? But I tell you, it's been the greatest asset. And it's amazing to be speaking to you today on my wedding anniversary after 17 years.
Wow. Congratulations to you and Sam Pierce, your wife.
It's amazing. And it's Women's Day tomorrow. And I just want to say to everybody out there, the greatest asset for myself traveling was my wife and having my children. And Sam was an absolute legend. She is a negotiator of note, a conflict resolver. She never hears negativity. She deals with these bandits in ski masks and AK-47s by making them cups of rooibos and talking to them in French, and we're all friends by the end of it, and we've never paid a bribe the whole time. But she's also a complete bulldog as well. You can't cross her. She's been swearing at people when they're on the truck. She chases them off and brings back the thing that they took from the truck. She's amazing. And it really is an asset to travel with your family, in the sense that as soon as you get some testosterone tension between men, with guns especially, the family jump out, everybody smiles, we do a couple of magic tricks. Sam charms them, the children charm them, and we haven't had any problems. Like I say, 12 months, 12 countries, not one bribe.
And how old are your kids, and what's their response been to it?
They're 12 and 14, and they're loving it. My son's probably loving it more because he's a surfer as well, so he's getting to surf. He's surfed 7 different African countries already.
Yeah.
My daughter's 14 now, so the hormones are kicking in. And I say, there's good things traveling, but there's also bad things when the hormones align between her and her mum. Sometimes I have to call in the UN peacekeeping force. I'm thinking about buying my own little blue beret.
Yeah.
So it can be stressful in a 3 by 2 meter space for a year at a time. But overall, it's been magical. We've had the most amazing experiences from country to
Mark,
country.
what do you hope that your children, I mean, with you it'll be easier, but what do you hope that your children will learn from this experience and come away with?
I think they're learning the same things that we are, which is that Africa is an amazing place, and we're lucky to call ourselves African as opposed to European, which is incredible to feel that. And also that time is precious. Time with the people that you care about is much more precious than any objects. It's learning about people instead of possessions, and how to really connect. And that whole, I think that being aware of the cell phone paradox that we're all living in with technology, that it brings people further away closer, but the people who are closer become further away.
Yeah.
And I think they're learning to kind of reconnect, learning how to play the old way. They don't need so much stuff. And for all of us, it's been letting go. We've had to let go a lot of our preconceived ideas and all of our possessions, and it's load shedding for us. It's been quite a spiritual reconnection for the family, and I think that'll see you through very tough times for everybody. Yeah. That's an amazing experience. Yeah, they're loving it.
You are going to come back and perform a show. It takes place on the 22nd of August at the Octopus Garden in St. James, which is focused on this idea of clockwise, which has so many different meanings.
Yes, because we're going clockwise around Africa, it's also, it's very much the meaning of be aware of the clock, be wise, because time is ticking down, and it is a climate change initiative. We're trying to bring awareness to climate change in Africa. At all 3 shows, I'm doing just the 3 before we go back in October. So I'm at the Octopus Garden on the 22nd, Cafe Rue in Newark on the 29th, and then on the 4th of September in the meeting place in Simonstown. And I'll be talking about the show and talking about climate change and telling all the jokes. That there's been all brand new material that have been written going through from country to country, but it's been it's been hard once I learned about climate change, realizing that it doesn't seem that it's anything we can change because it's up to the multinationals and the governments. So you feel a little bit disempowered. You feel like, what can you do to make a difference? And even recycling, I used to tell people to recycle. Sometimes I do my recycling and I feel like I'm turning up after the earthquake at Kathmandu with a dustpan and brush going, hello, can I help? It seems so, but the voice is what gives power, and our voices together, as I was saying on the march yesterday to the people, we unite through social media and through connections like this opportunity to talk to you and get people to just think about how they use energy.
Yeah.
And that's the inspiration of the truck, really, is people go, what, you're running it on used vegetable oil? They start thinking maybe there's different alternatives to the way they've been taught. They think, how can I maybe use energy differently or save or recycle or reuse? And we've been inspiring people along the way. They've been very receptive. I'm really lucky, and we've had some great supporters. I tell you, we couldn't have done this if it wasn't for Liberty Health with the healthcare for the family to travel through. We've had malaria, we've had typhoid. It comes with its challenges, and the truck has been incredible. To have an old 1978 truck from the ex-army, it came from the South African Army, and it's just the best vehicle to travel through Africa because you see them everywhere.
It sounds absolutely extraordinary. I have to say that it's a very funny idea, Mark, to see you and a picture of you. I haven't seen the picture, but I have this idea of you with your blonde hair going up and knocking on the door of a large hotel in Kinshasa or something and saying, just give us your vegetable oil. I mean, it's a very different question to what we'd be generally being asked to give.
Well, I feel like I've been training for this all my life, with starting with juggling and magic and then stand-up comedy, and just it's about blagging, we call it. It's about going in and being able to charm them and go, please, would you like to be part of this? It's going to be really good for you and good for us and good for the planet and good for Africa. And everybody comes on board. You must look on the Facebook page.
Yeah, okay.
Africa Clockwise, you'll see pictures of me. I've got a big red beard now.
Big red beard?
I've got my dreadlocks have gone. I've got a big red. I look like the leader of the free folk out of the Game of Thrones or something crazy. But you must have a look on all the details of the gigs are on there as well.
Oh, fantastic!
But it's an amazing talk, and I just wanted to say also, we couldn't have done this without Continental giving us the tyres for this truck. I mean, but we've had such wonderful support from Continental, and it's been the trip of a lifetime, really. And we have only done 1/3 of it, thanks to Ebola. As you know, Ebola put a little bit of a stop. That's why we're back briefly, and we will be back in Liberia in October to continue the rest of the trip and hopefully get the Guinness World Record for the longest journey on alternative fuels. That's the objective, and then we'll get a lot of focus for the country. But so far, we're out of quarantine, and Ebola seems to be getting better. They've got a vaccine.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but it was quite something for a while when we were in Monrovia, and Sam and the kids went to the UK because they had a family gathering to go to, and I was left behind, and it just got worse and worse. And because I knew they were in the UK, I went to the British Embassy to find out what their advice was. And I swear, Michelle, this is true. The man at the British Embassy in charge of letting you know about what to do with Ebola, who was telling everybody it's time to leave the country. This man's name was Exodus. I swear. It was called Exodus. Can you believe it? The South African Embassy, the guy was called Futsak.
Oh, no, you're lying. You're lying. Mark, I want to say thanks so much. I hope that we can keep updated with you along the way with the story, because it would be wonderful to catch up with you in the different countries.
Stay connected. We've got satellite phone will be in connection all the way through. We've got another 20 countries to go, and I'm just waiting to get through to Senegal now. You were playing Ishmael Lowe earlier, and
I can't wait to get to
Senegal. It's going to be superb.
Okay, that's Mark Sampson, comedian, but also I suppose you could call him a total eco-activist, him and his family, his lovely wife Sam and their 2 kids, traveling clockwise around the African continent. And they've done many countries already: Namibia, Angola, Congo, Cameroon, Gabon, Togo, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire. The list goes on. 12 countries so far. And if you want to catch him, you can catch him on Saturday, the 29th of August at the Octopus Garden in St. James. And you can also catch him at Café Rue Noordhoek. That's the 29th. He's at the 22nd in Octopus Garden and Café Rue on the 29th of August. It sounds like it'll be a fantastic conversation.